Hi all, my name is Gaurav. So in previous video we saw how dependency injection, what is without dependency injection and what are the problem when we do not use dependency injection. Okay, so I'll just reiterate what scenario we were marking to demonstrate the dependency injection. So let's say we have an e-commerce application which is sending the notification and it may send a notification via email or SMS. So for that this e-commerce application have a email service and here it has all the logic to send the email. Then it has one more service, SMS service, and here it has all the logic to send the SMS. Now this is the main service who is sending the notification. So today let's say e-commerce application is saying we will be sending SMS to the end user. So this notification service will consume the SMS service. To consume the SMS service, it will create an object of SMS service and then it will call the function of SMS service to send the message. Tomorrow, if this notification service wants to use email service, then again it will need to update the code and it will call this email service dot send email method. Okay. So problem with this approach, like every time we are changing the dependency, we need to update the code in our service. Now, using dependency injection, we can avoid this. How we can avoid this? Number one, we need to create an interface. Okay, so let's say I created an interface. I already created this interface. Interface name is message service, and it has one function, abstract function send, which takes two parameters: who is the recipient and what is the message. Okay, now so this is the step one. Now all the dependencies in our case, dependencies are email service and SMS service. So all the dependencies should be implementing this interface. So I'll say implements message service. As I'm implementing this interface, so Java will enforce me to override this send method. So what I'll say okay. I'll put my logic here, or let's say I. So that is my updated email service. Okay. Now similar I'll do with the SMS service. What I'll do, I'll say implement message service, and again Java will enforce me to override this send method of message service interface. I'll put the definition here. What? Okay, I don't need this now. Perfect. So I have created a contract and both emails are contract means interface. Okay, and SMS service and email service both are implementing this message service contract. Now I'll go to notification. I'll say, okay, what I need, my dependency is, what is the contract name? Message service. This is my dependency. Okay, just a moment. This is my dependency, and what I'll do, I'll create a constructor, public notification service, and I'll say message service, message service, my constructor, and I'll say this dot message service is equal to message service. Okay, and now I'll make this final. Perfect. So now I am saying, hey, this is my dependency, and whenever you require me, so notification service is saying I have a dependency which is message service, and whenever you require me, so it means whenever you will be creating my object, you need to pass the any service which is implementing this message service. Okay, so see in simple word. Perfect. Now I'll say okay, public void send email send, let's say, notification, and here I'll say string message string recipient, and I'll say message service dot message service interface has a send method send, and I'll get this. What send has? Send as first parameter recipient. Okay, so I'll say recipient and then message recipient and message. Perfect. So that is how I implemented it. Now it is now it notification service is not worrying whether it's an email service or it's a SMS service. Notification says that my dependency is type of message service. Means any class which is implementing message service, I can consume that. Now, if I need to use, so this is my e-commerce application. Okay. Now in this e-commerce application, I need to utilize this notification service. So what I'll do, I'll say notification service. Why it is not coming? Class notification service. Okay, there is a spelling mistake. My bad. Refactor. Noti F ICATION notification service. Perfect. I'll go here. I'll say okay. Notification service. I need to utilize this service, so I'll say notification service new notification service. So I'll create an object of notification service. Now this notification service requires a object of class which implements the message service interface. So let's say I want to use email service. So what I'll create email service. Let's say message service is sorry. I'll say better message service is equal to new email service. Again, is there a spelling mistake? Okay, yeah. And I'll pass this object here and I'll say notification. Again, spelling mistake. Notification service dot send notification. Send email to Gaurav and send a message order booked, like this. So with this approach, there are two things we achieved. Number one, now this notification service is not creating object of email service on its own. It's a responsibility of consumer who is consuming this notification service. So e-commerce app is consuming this notification service. So e-commerce app is creating a object of email service and passing that object to notification service. So this solves the violation. I mean, this prevents the violation of single responsibility principle. Okay. Second thing, tomorrow, if I need to use SMS service, I don't need to make any change in my notification service. I don't need to make any change here. I'll simply go here, and here instead of email service, I'll say SMS service. That's it. Okay. So that's the one thing. Second thing, tomorrow, if you want to test this notification service, you can create your own mock service. Okay. So you can say something like this: new SMS mock service. Okay. Okay. Let me create quickly. So basically, what I'll say new class SMS mock service, and again this SMS mock service should implements my not my message service interface and put some mock logic. This is a service to mock SMS. That's it. And I'll go here in my e-commerce application. I'll say new SMS mock service. That's it. Yeah. So in that way, I will test my notification service. I'm not testing the actual SMS service. I just created my mock. My consultation is totally testing on this notification service. Tomorrow, if SMS or email service is down, no worries. We already have a mock service. Anytime we can create a mock service and can utilize that mock service to test the notification service. So that's the magic of dependency injection. So as here in the notification service, we are saying that whenever you are creating my object, you need to pass the dependency. So basically we are passing this in constructor of notification service. So this kind of dependency injection. So basically here we are injecting dependency when we are creating an object. Okay. So this kind of dependency injection is called constructor injection, constructor level dependency injection, we can say. I hope I am clear. In next videos, we'll talk about different type of dependency injection. Like we have a field level dependency injection, we have a setter method getter setter method dependency injection. All those things we'll talk about in subsequent video. Thank you.